I know from experience that most people don't fail. Most people's life changes don't fail because they don't have the willpower to do it or the skill to do it, so that they don't know where they're starting from. I've seen people try to start businesses, for example, without creating a business plan first. They have no idea whether it actually makes sense on paper, whether they can actually sell enough, or whether their expenses are going to be too high. But they're so excited about it that they just jump in and make the change without knowing if it could work or where they're at currently, especially financially. So that's where I start with my self-reliance. That's where I start the 52 weeks of my self-reliance. If you're new here, if you don't know what I'm talking about, my name is Shawn James. This is my self-reliance. And I've been working at changing my life for about the last 15, 16 years now, since my big business went out of business and left me personally with $750,000 in debt. And I've documented basically our climb out of that position to what I think is my ideal life, the life of my dreams, sitting here at a workshop, middle of the day on a work day, and working on this timber frame structure behind you here. That's my idea of a dream life. And it took me a long time to get here, but part of the reason I got into that trouble to begin with is that I wasn't paying attention to the numbers and closely enough. I didn't really understand where we were at and where we were headed financially, especially personally. The business was one thing, but then how closely we were tied to that business was another thing. So not only did we have to start over back then, 2011, early 2011, we started from that deep hole of $750,000. The last 10 years in particular, where I've been building this life, this particular homesteading off-grid rural life, that's what I've been documenting on my channels and on my social media, Facebook and Instagram, for example, since that period. So I just wanted to share with you 52 weeks of the process that I took to get to this point. It didn't take me 52 weeks, but I've been able to condense it to 52 weeks of actions that I think if I had performed, or if you have, if this is the life that you're interested in, not necessarily this exact life, but a life where you're more responsible and secure. I think if you follow this 52-week action plan that I've laid out in the book that I released recently, then I think you have a pretty good chance of starting over, starting a new life successfully. Now, it's not the end, of course. It's going to take years. I think any kind of major life change like this is at least a 5, but more likely a 10 and maybe even 15-year plan. Still worth it. I'm 56. If I started now, I'd still be happy when I'm 71 to have achieved this life. So I always say it's never too late to start. You can get a pretty good foundation laid in those 52 weeks for the rest of your life, just to, like I said, set it as a foundation and then build your way up. So as excited as you may be just to get started on this new life, you really, I think, should just sit back and assess where you're at for the first phase, not even just the first week. Get a real baseline where you're at, what you need to do before you can start taking actionable steps in this direction. You need to clean up your prior life first, the life that you're currently living. And I have all these in spreadsheets and worksheets if you want to buy the book. It comes with downloadable worksheets in Excel or numbers type format, as well as journals and checklists. So if you buy the book, you get links that you can download to get those things to work from. But anyway, the first week in particular is just a matter of assessing your time, your debt, especially your finances, your income and things like that. So it's every obligation basically that you have that you would need to maybe clean up before you could start taking actionable steps to move into your new life. So that's phase one. It's just getting everything organized, writing it down. And this is not just financial, like I said, it's all your obligations, where you're at in life. Now, week 2, that's where I would get into actual specifics. Now, just keep in mind, this is not theory. This is something my wife and I literally did. Everything I'm going to tell you is something we did over the course of different time frames, but especially in the first weeks following the business failure. So after we figured out where we were at, just generally, we sat down with our 12 months of bank and credit card statements, figured out what we were spending exactly and what our debt was, what our obligations were, and what was a monthly cost that we needed to get a hold of or start reducing or eliminating. So that's week 3, where you're going to assess your vulnerabilities. For example, if something happened to you like happened to us, problem with us is that we had this fairly big business, and both my wife and I were working in it and the related smaller businesses, but they were all tied together. So with one failure meant we were losing all of our businesses over time, as well as both of our incomes. So that was a real vulnerability that we had. And then things like obligations, like the vehicle payments and so on, were vulnerabilities as well. Now, I've mentioned many times over the years too, the first thing after that we did was to set our priorities. And we had 5 of them, 5 major priorities, I would say, that primary that we absolutely weren't going to compromise on. One was our kids. We had 2 young daughters at the time, so we wanted to try to keep them in their childhood home, try to keep that house so that they could have some stability, friends and school and so on. Number 2 was health related, just to maintain our health, and a big part of that, I would say a subcategory of that, was to continue to eat well. We're very serious about our food and the toxicity in our lives and eliminating that. So it was very important to us that we were able to continue to source and eat really high quality food, water and so on, everything we ingested. And obviously that made us real gun shy about debt. So we did not want to take on any more debt. So we started structuring already, started writing down what we wanted to do, where we wanted to be in 5 years and what that meant to us. And that included just not having any debt 5 years down the road. So that's it. That's the first 4 weeks. You haven't done anything. You haven't built something. You haven't bought a piece of property. You haven't made any dramatic life changes yet. It's just settling in, getting a real sense of where you're at, taking your time at it, not just writing this all down in one night and then trying to move on to the next step. Because you're going to remember things, first of all. Maybe you're going to talk about your priorities or come up with new ones for whatever reason. So that's just basically phase 1. I get into the details. So phase 1 is 4 weeks long. Some of them are a little bit longer. I think there's 7 phases in total. So some of those are a little bit longer. But anyway, phase 1 was just assessment. So week 1 specifically is where you're going to write everything down, write all your obligations. It doesn't have to be detailed. You don't need all the numbers yet. It's just the things that you know that you need or that you're spending your time and your money on. For example, as high level as you work at a job that you spend 40 hours working in and then another, 10 hours a week commuting to and from that job, and then what your financial obligations roughly are. Like you have a mortgage, you have a rent, you have utilities, you have credit card debt or student loans or whatever. Just write all that down, high level, like I said, no details at this point. And the reason you take a week to do this, things are just going to come up that you're going to remember. Oh yeah, I have to go this night to take my kids to soccer, hockey, baseball, football, whatever it is, music lessons. That's an obligation. So time obligation as well as a financial obligation. So write that down. End of the week, you'll get a better idea of now how to spreadsheet that into specifics. So that's it. That's it for the first week. I'm going to actually chop these videos up into these individual weeks like this because I think it's useful, and this is a good addendum to the actual book or one of the memberships on the website. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, 52 Weeks of Self-Reliance. It's an actionable workbook. It's a short book. It's easy to read, but it's very concise and detailed and specific on how to turn your life around. So 52 Weeks of Self-Reliance. So I'll provide a link in the video description below and in the pinned comment. You can click on that and go see what I'm talking about. So that's it. I'm going to sign off, and then I'm going to move on to week 2. So thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Looking forward to seeing you back here at the cabin next time. Take care.